Hey, high ticket founders and entrepreneurs. If you're selling premium offers, but your sales are stuck, maybe you're a solo man, maybe everything's chaotic right now, maybe you don't have systems and operations to be able to actually scale, or maybe you're just hustling, trying to get to that next level, but just don't know how to get there, then this video is for you. The exact same system that got me to over $150,000 cash collected in a singular month in online sales, the exact same system that multi-seven-figure companies use to scale their sales team and absolutely break barriers with revenue. Let's dive in. This could 10x your sales and your revenue for your business. As a high ticket founder, you're great at your craft, either coaching, consulting, selling services, info, selling products anywhere from $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 plus. But sales, that's the bottleneck. Maybe you're doing it all yourself, closing deals, setting, burning yourself out, not focusing on the company vision, right? Maybe you have a sales team that's inconsistent, not following up, not closing deals, not doing the things they're supposed to be doing. No real systems, your operations are chaotic, you're losing deals, you don't know where things are, and things are a mess. And scaling, that's more headaches, not more money in your situation. The reality is it's impossible to grow a business and a sales team if you don't have the right systems, operation, and actual team in place. Think about it. Maybe you're driving organic traffic, you're running ads, but without an elite sales team, your leads fizzle out. No systems and operations. Inefficient ops means longer sales cycles, weeks instead of days. You're leaving massive money on the table while competitors have elite sales team closing deals, absolutely smashing. This isn't just frustrating. This is holding your business back from its absolute max potential. If your sales aren't elite, your business literally stays small. The fix: build an elite sales team ready to close high ticket deals to make you more revenue and more cash. Hire top tier talent. Hire closers. Assess them. Make sure they actually know what they're doing and they've got prior experience. They know how to run a discovery. They know how to frame a call. They know how to pull pain from a prospect. They know how to actually close deals. Having top tier talent is not only going to help your business, it's going to take a lot of stress off your hands so you can focus on what actually matters and the company vision. Have consistent qualified lead flow. You should be looking at your closer's calendar like it's $300, $400, $500 per slot. Having unqualified bookings from your setters or bad marketing is just holding your business back and wasting your closers' time. Having a system where only qualified people hit your calendar, closers should only be talking to leads who are actually qualified and ready to actually buy. This way, you've got the highest ROI per call, and your closer is going to be happy making more money growing your business. Deal flow systems. Every prospect and every deal that goes through the pipeline, from actual marketing to setters to closers to delivery, should be exactly the same. The same clear path, call to cash. No winging it, making sure there's an exact sales process throughout the whole way. Train for excellence. Have weekly coaching on your specific offer and what it's about so they know exactly how to close. Not only that, but teaching them exactly how to actually run the sales call, having a learning management system where you can have everything structured in there from setting, closing, operations, systems, KPIs, what's expected, company standards, and even team culture. Having a high energy team all on the same mission who not only want to make as much money for themselves, but you, the company owner, is absolutely unstoppable, right? This is how you're going to grow from 50,000 to 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500,000 and beyond, right? Making sure that everyone's aligned on the exact same mission to make as much money and grow your company. Streamline your operations, making sure you have the correct tech stack. From close, go high level, making sure that you have automations, emails, SMSs, things are synced, Zapier automations into Slack, having standard operating procedures on how things should be done so things are the same. Manage and scale. Have KPIs for your team, track your numbers, have them fill in the sheets every single day, have end of day reports. When you know your numbers, you have clarity on your business. Things are predictable. You know what stats need to be improved. Is it show rate? Is it close rate? What is it that we actually need to do to get to that next level? Not only this, your sales team know what to improve on a weekly basis. So we can give them specific training on that so they can get better, improve, and make more money for themselves. But most importantly, you, the business owner and the company.
All right, so you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or high ticket founder looking to scale your sales system. We're going to break down a 7-figure sales system used on multi 7-figure companies to generate more revenue, more cash collected, more deals, and grow your business. Okay. Now, you may be a founder doing 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, 40, 50, 60, 70K a month, even plus, and just trying to dial it in, get everything going. You may even be setting right now, closing, You may be outside the system already. The ultimate goal here is to get you outside the sales system, have an automated sales engine that's running with you or running for you, so you can actually focus on company vision and you've got full clarity and direction on where you need to go as a company, right? So implementing this as a process and actually implementing this into your business, from setters to closers, dialing scripts, learning management systems, SOPs, and having everything that's in your head and also what's not in your head that you need, in place, so we can basically start scaling your sales side of stuff and start doing these bigger six-figure months and become a multi-7-figure company. So we'll break this down now. This may look a little bit complicated, but believe me, it's super simple once I go through it. So I want you to have fully understanding of how we can implement this. So first off is we need leads, right? So we need to drive traffic. So you're either going to have paid ads, you're either going to have an IG funnel, you're either going to have an organic YouTube. Now, what's most important is having one traffic source. One traffic source that is your go-to and is consistent, and that is fueling your business. Usually, under that, you want a sub-lead source. Either that be, so either your paid ads run your business, and that's the main file. And then under that, you have either organic, so IG and YouTube, or IG or YouTube, or one of them that you mainly focus on that brings you a secondary amount of leads. This is important for security of your business, because if your ads go out, you've always got some traffic coming in for your team, and vice versa. If you're more bigger on the organic side, if something happens to your account or whatever, hopefully it doesn't. But if it does, you've at least got paid ads to keep earning revenue and make sure your business is fueled. However, at the start, we don't want to overcomplicate this. We want to focus on one. Okay, focus on one. That way, our brain's not everywhere. Okay, so start with one traffic source and one offer. So there's multiple attraction offers you can do, and this is going to be specific to your business and what it is. But you could have a VSL framed as a training video that they watch, and let's say they come through a paid ads, they click on your landing page and they watch that VSL. It's framed as a training or something of value, and it runs them through a process which is actually a VSL to get them to opt in. Okay, you could also do a lead magnet. Okay, this is a really attractive one because people need problems solved, and if we can solve their problem through a lead magnet, they're already pushing into your company. You're already that you're giving them something for free, and then internally they want more of it, right? You're giving them a little bit of a taste test of your business and the value that you provide. Okay, offer 3 is a low ticket item that's super cheap. Usually for this, you can do it through ads, no issue there. Usually it requires a little bit more social proof. They got to look into your stuff before they're just going to give you money, or they need to see something like some material or organic content before they buy. But in some cases, they will just buy a low ticket item. Usually you need to be in front of their face a few times before that. Cool, sweet. So to keep it simple, because I want to keep this as simple as possible, one traffic source, one offer, right, that we focus on. Okay, and we can help you set this up as well if it's not dialed in. If it is dialed in, awesome. We can improve it, or it's good enough to start introducing the sales side of stuff. Amazing. So they will then opt into a lead form. Okay, now they can do that straight away. No issues there. However, a lot of people will watch the VSL or watch some training material or go through your lead magnet and then have the opportunity to also book in a call, a direct booking. Now, a direct booking is more optimal because they're warmer, they're hotter, they understand more of the offer, they've already watched some of your material, they've already gone through the VSL, and the VSL will help them get engaged and more brought into you as a company and what you actually offer. Okay, so let's say they opt in. Let's go through this first, right? So they'll opt into the lead form. They can also do a direct booking. Okay, and then they'll get pushed to a confirmation page or a thank you page. This is a pre-call nurture, so this will help them understand even your offer better and set them up for the actual setter and closer. Now, just for context, direct bookings are super strong. I remember when I was on a multi-7-figure company offer. The direct bookings that come on board were like 70%, 80% always getting set, and there's very high chances of them actual closing because the VSL done so much of the work for the actual team, and it's if you can have a locked in VSL, which is what we can help you with as well, you're going to do wonders, right? However, a lead form is perfectly fine. It takes a little bit more work, I found, with the setting process, but no issue whatsoever, right? You can set them and close them, no issue. Cool. Amazing. So what happens now is your setter is speed to lead is going to start calling these people from the lead form. Now, this should be done extremely fast, like literally within 2 minutes, I would say. It's better to be while they're on the page, booking them is better than them leaving, going to go do something and coming back and half forgetting about your offer and then calling them, right? Your direct bookings as well will also be called, okay? So your direct bookings usually will watch the confirmation page. The setter will also call these, and the idea here is to actually qualify them, okay, and run them through a process. So a full setting process, which I'm not going to go too deep on this, but the idea of it is understanding where they're at, understanding their situation, getting clarity on that, understanding that there's a need for the offer and they do need something or whatever your specific offer is, and also financially qualifying them, right? Making sure that if they do answer, we qualify them. So if they do answer, right, we literally qualify them, and if they're not qualified, which we run through the setting process, we DQ them and they go in the bin. So they don't hit your closes calendar, because that would be a waste of time. If they don't answer, we can mark them in the pipeline for call 1, call 2, call 3, call 4, call 5, call 6. And what this is it tells you in the CRM the next day, once your setters have gone through their new lead list or whatever they've got, who to actually call to bring back in the pipeline. Okay? So every single day we'll call them. If you get past 6, there's no real, it's probably a dead lead, someone who just opted in and they're pissing about. Okay, let me get back to this. So when they do opt in through the lead form, right, they'll basically they can go into an email and SMS nurture as well for people who don't book the call, and maybe for people who don't answer as well. If they do answer, they will obviously get DQ'd, or they'll go into the sales process. If they just hang up or something like that, some people don't like being set called and just stuff happens. Automatically they can go into the email and SMS nurture. They can get pumped a bunch more content, attraction offers, value, stuff like that. They're going to see it. It's going to warm them up a little bit more, and then bang. When we want, we can hit them again with the outbound dials for the setters, and they're going to be more warm and more inclined to your offer. And a lot of them will actually respond to your emails and SMSs as well, because people are busy, things happen, and not everyone's just going to answer and set. So for the people who don't book and for the people who sort of drop off, this is what we do. Everything is put into Slack. So idea of you as a founder, want to make your job as easy as possible. You've got your main hub for your team. You go in there, you can see your new bookings, your sets, your closed deals, and not necessary for the start. However, once you're ramped and once you're going, you can get really nitpicky with it with Zapier, and you can, people who basically who don't show, for people who are financially DQ'd, it can all come up into a Slack channel. Like, you can automate everything through Close and have automations, but these are the main ones at the start for what you actually need to see. And realistically, all you really need, all the stuff is extra. Okay, cool, sweet. So if they don't answer, we want to mark as follow-up, which we've touched on. If they are qualified and not qualified, they're DQ. If they are qualified and they've been right through the setting process and the setters absolutely crushed it, which is what we'll do, and what we'll have them doing is we send them trust assets, right, to trust us more. So after they're set, we'll send them a extra video, we'll send them some testimonials, send them some extra stuff, and they will be then set into your closes calendar. Now, 3 days is usually the max. Anything after 3 days, people start to forget. Same day bookings you can do as well. Same day bookings is, I've found from my experience, not the optimal stuff. 1 day, 2 day, or 3 day is the absolute best to get people to get people cranking, unless the guy just wants to move forward straight away. And we send the trust assets. Now, this is optional. You don't need this at the start, but it's also having a confirmation specialist who can run through on the Slack channel, see all the bookings, put them all there, and send them a confirmation text before just agreeing to the time, making sure that that time's locked in for the closer is super, super powerful, right? Like the show rates can be 60, 70, 80% in some cases if everything is locked in exactly how it should be. And depending on offer, of course, right? Cool. Then the sales call was booked, okay? The sales call was then booked, and it's basically in the closer's calendar. What happens now is, has the call shown? If the call hasn't shown, okay, there's usually something that went wrong in the setting process. That is the setter's responsibility. Maybe they didn't touch on the pain. Maybe they didn't get clarity of the situation. Maybe they didn't want to move ahead now. Maybe we didn't make them come to a mini realization on that set call of like, hey, they do actually need this. So, that then is stuff that we can train on, make better, and optimize so it's dialed in. Okay. But they will go into a follow-up pipeline, and we will email and SMS nurture them so they're consistently getting value. And a lot of people will come back depending on your offer and how bad they actually want it. Because at the end of the day, people do get busy, and sometimes they do just miss calls. Other times, maybe they got off that call and they didn't actually feel good at the end of the set call, and they just were just like yes man. Usually, it's a key sign that something went a little bit wrong in the setting process, right? Cool. Now, if they did show, which is where we want it, and we want to have that dialed in, right? Basically, awesome, cool. Now we need to close the deal. So that's when your closes will be locked in, and run them through that actual process and run them through a closing call process. And if the deal closes, awesome, fantastic. We've got a new client. We can then focus on delivery and get the delivery side set up, which is really cool. Okay, new client, cash in the door. If they don't show, okay, we'll then set up a follow-up task within Close or Grow High Level to make sure that they may say that, hey, they just don't have, they are not ready to move forward like right now, or there may be, some objections or something that may be logistics, whatever that may be. We set up follow-up tasks. We want to touch on that again, and then as soon as the follow-up comes up, dial them, get them back in the client, and close them. They also go in the follow-up pipeline, and we'll send them more trust assets if something just didn't go right in the closing call, making sure that we can bring them back into the pipeline, increasing deals. Cool. Amazing. So that is the process broken down. Now, I do want to break down some of the back-end stuff here. So with your actual setters, with all the work that they've done here, this all gets tracked. Okay. So basically, there's going to be sales huddles. That's up to you as a founder and company owner on how many huddles you want to have a week with them. We can also have huddles and training sessions with them and make sure we're dialing in the sales process. Right now, the idea is we want to get clarity from our tracking sheets. So we'll look at the tracking sheets, understand what's going on, what the constraints, what the problems are, what needs to be improved on, and then we will have sales huddles and trainings on these specific constraints, making sure that we're improving it. So then your company is actually improving and it's becoming a well-oiled machine. And staying on top of this is really important, especially when scaling, right? Because you need everyone to uphold a standard on the team so you can bring in more leads and grow your sales team and get basically more calls in the calendar and have everything at a high level. Okay, so that will all be tracked. Now, there is standardized scripts for setters, so everyone runs the same process. I've been on companies where nothing has been standardized, and there's people doing all their own things. And okay, cool, it's awesome, but in terms of congruency and knowing what's actually going on as a company owner, and also reviews on calls, there's like reviewing calls when everyone's doing their own thing. It's like, whoa, what is going on here? So having a standardized process that works and makes perfect sense in terms of a logical sales call for setting is like mandatory. Right, and your setters will also do end-of-day reports every day, so then you can see the information in Slack. Okay, cool. Now closing side. Okay, same thing. these can be connected sales huddles as you grow as a company. You may have separate ones for just setting and for closing, and there will also be tracking sheets for sales to understand what's going on in the company, who's the top performers, who's the dogs, who's absolutely killing it, and what also needs to be dialed in. Okay. Also standardized scripts. Now the cool thing about this is these scripts are dialed in with these scripts. So it's like taking your customer down this like journey of the sales process where things are just banging. Like it's just everything's just firing exactly the way it should, and it makes perfect sense in a sales aspect. Okay, so this will be all standardized, and will be trained on. So things are actually dialed in. Same thing with closing, end of day reports, so you can see what's going on in Slack. Now, creating the sales team congruency. This is all ties into this. Founder or manager to look at the daily reviews. The idea for you as a founder is to save as much time as you possibly can. So while your sales engine is working up here, all this is dialed in into just basically a Slack channel where you can see this, or just your tracking sheets where you have a leaderboard and you can see each day what's going on with your company, how much money you're generating, your stats, and what needs to be dialed in on the sales process. So you can focus on delivery, you can focus on growing the company vision, and you can just put it in your calendar for half an hour a day, whatever, to look at that and make sure you know what's going on, which is what we can also do. Look at these constraints together, find the problems, find the bottlenecks, find what's going on, and then basically organize team meets and training. So we're making sure that this is actually dialed in and the team are doing exactly what they need to be doing on a daily basis. In terms of yourself or the manager, ensuring the actual teams following the SOPs, making sure we've got high return on investment inputs. Okay, getting the data, analyzing that, finding the constraints, the problems, and then reviewing it, right? Making sure that we're reviewing it and then adjusting the actual inputs and repeating, okay? And this will be done literally weekly, right? And, multiple trainings a week, or depending on what you want as a founder. And this cycle just continues to run as you grow, because as you bring in more reps, as you bring in more setters, as you bring in more leads, things will keep growing, and you just run this same process, which doesn't take long at all, and we just adjust and we keep improving until you have a well-oiled sales engine that's absolutely making you a bunch of money, and money while you sleep, right? You don't have to be in the sales process. It removes you totally. You can sit back, focus on the company vision. You have full clarity and direction of where your company's at, where you need to go, and your sales engine is running for you. And the ultimate goal is to ramp this into your company, get it going, and introduce a setter, introduce a closer, pull you back, make sure you're focused on what you need to focus so you can focus on company vision and actually growing it, and you having peace of mind as well. You don't have to worry about all the stress and all this extra stuff, and having your team just dialed in, doing what they need to do on a daily basis. So this is a breakdown of the 7-figure sales system. I try to break it down as easy as I possibly can. There's obviously way deeper levels that we can go on this, and I've broken down before. And if you are interested in us chatting about the deeper levels and what we can do for you, we can definitely break that down and get into it and build an elite sales team that's absolutely firing each and every day and slinging deals. Cool. Once this is in place, the payoffs are massive. Okay, more closers, more money, elite teams hit higher quotas, adding more revenue. You know what's going on with the business. Systemize operations. Don't have to teach the same thing to ongoing reps. When ramping, saving your mental energy, focus on what actually matters, on what actually moves the needle in your business. Faster scaling. Operations efficiency shortens sales cycles. Frees you from micromanaging things and checking on 50 different things at once because you know what's going on. You can go from a solo operator, start ramping up slowly, and bringing in setters and bringing on closers, removing yourself from the process, and start scaling your business to 6-7 figures and absolutely getting to that next level on where you want to get to as a company, that company vision. Way better lifestyle, right? Because you can do what you want, right? You're not in the trenches, you're not in the weeds, so to speak. You can delegate the sales so you can focus on the company vision. And not only this, when you do have things dialed in, you're going to attract the top tier talent who want to come to your company. You become a magnet. You don't have to chase people anymore. You become that company that people want to work for. And because they can make money on your offer, right? They can live the lifestyle they want. They're happy. It's in their best interest, but it's in your best interest as a company owner to have your offer absolutely dialed in. Marketing, and also most importantly, in this case, the sales. Clarity and direction, right? Most company owners, at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, even beyond sometimes, do lack that clarity and direction to get through that ramping stage in that process. Knowing what's actually happening in your business. So this is the 7-figure sales process, right? A broken down version of it. I try to keep it as simplified as possible. We can implement this into your business. We can ramp your setters. We can ramp your closers. We can dial in your scripts, learning management systems, make sure everything's in place, standardized. So you can ramp your sales system and sales team so you can start breaking to them 6-figure marks and become a hopefully a multi-7-figure company, which is what we'll do. So we can have a chat about this. We can go into it further detail and see what sort of game plan we can come up with for you specifically and your company and your business.
The system that we implement turns your business into a money-making machine that runs without you 24/7. Once in place, the payoffs are huge. More closers, more money, more clarity. You know which direction your business is going. We can actually improve the actual business, get the operations efficient, and actually know where we're heading as a company so we can make as much money for yourself. Imagine improving your close rate by 10, 20, 30%. Imagine the extra revenue that you could get. If you're ready to implement an absolute elite sales system, build an elite sales team, have systems and operations in your business so you can get to the next level, close more deals and make more revenue and have more cash collected, then book a call down below. We can have an open and honest conversation. The ultimate goal is to get full clarity, no high pressure sales tactics, full clarity on your situation, on how we can actually get your business to the next level. Also, download the Big 3 blueprint below. It's going to break down exactly the 3 steps that you need to take as a business owner so you can have an elite sales team, make more money, and get more cash collected in the door so you can blow your business up. Speak soon.